Alright everyone, an extra special video. That's how you know that it's a funny topic. Talking about the Ethan Klein, Steven Crowder debate, if you can really call it that. This is a great example, by the way, of why I don't generally debate people at all, regardless of the topic. I'm more likely to do it like for religion, something like that. Like I debated Nick Fuentes once, but it was about, he's a Catholic and I'm an occultist. And things like that. But generally, political debate is bullshit because 99% of the people that are going to be aware that it's going on are already fans of one or the other parties that are debating. And so it really doesn't change anyone's mind. Like looking at this or any other debate, like, again, the vast majority of people went into it supporting one side or the other ideologically, one person or the other for popularity purposes, they're a fan of a person, and they came out with the same belief system. What happened in a nutshell is that right now all the lefties are seething, and they've definitely got their happy faces on, but it's a facade. What's happening is they're claiming victory in this particular engagement against Crowder. What happens is Ethan Klein, He Productions, spends days or weeks, I think actually, antagonizing Crowder. He's a popular figure to be antagonized by leftists. Just happens. And Crowder agrees to debate him, and then Sam Seder shows up. When you agree to debate a person, the general understanding is you're supposed to debate them, not call on somebody else to do it for you. As far as I know, Crowder did not agree. Hey, yeah, it's okay if Sam Seder shows up. The idea is that he's a coward because he left. I would leave too, as would any leftist in the same situation, because it's sleazy to challenge someone to a debate. You get a debate going, and at the last minute you call on someone else. This is basically the goddamn equivalent of what you see in like a first grade recess class or something, right? One kid shoves another kid, takes a toy or something. Other kid shoves back, knocks him down, they cry and they call for their slightly older friend or their big brother or something like that. It's goddamn pathetic. It's cowardly. I love the cope, though. The cope is that somehow this makes Crowder look afraid to debate Sam Seder, but he didn't show up to debate him. He never agreed to debate another individual. He agreed to debate Ethan Klein. If you're going to challenge someone to a debate and everyone accepts, you plan a debate, you schedule a time, maybe it's in person, maybe it's through a Zoom call or on a YouTube live stream, fucking do it then. Don't be a pussy and have somebody else do it for you. The cope is real. I'm on Twitter, it's just a wall of goddamn cope. And the funny thing is that the copium inhaling leftists are claiming that Crowder superfans are the ones coping. Well, they're not, though. He never needed to debate Sam Seder because he didn't show up to debate Sam Seder. That's not the purpose. He didn't even want to talk to the dude. Crowder, for a number of years, has avoided doing so. This is basically for the same reason that I avoid debating certain people, and not all of them, by the way, are leftists. Some of these people are on the right. There are grifters out there whose entire goddamn career is solely based on getting attention by antagonizing other people and then ripping off their platform. So they'll basically be able to use your username or real world name or whatever applies to advance their own career. There are leftists who have tried to do this with me, and I ignore them. And famously, like with Vaush, he antagonized me and made a video about me, an entire full-length video, and I didn't even know who the fuck he was. For some reason, it was then considered cowardly, again by the leftoids that were seething and wishing that I would platform him, that I was afraid to debate him because I act incredulous, and I'm like, well, I'm never going to debate someone who is talking shit about me. I don't even know who this fucker is. There's no point to it. And the problem with debate, back in the blood sports era, we should probably differentiate this. Back 5 or 6 years ago, debating on YouTube was mutually beneficial. It was beneficial to all parties involved, and it was also very fun. It was interesting. I was on the infamous debate between Sargon and Spencer. Actually, it was trending #1 on YouTube, and I'm always sad when they don't include the fact that I was there in their hit piece write-ups about YouTube's alt-right pipeline and shit like that, because I kicked ass at this particular debate. Anyway, back then it made sense. These days, because of just the algorithms involved with YouTube, Twitch, and all of these other sites, they've made it much more difficult to get any unbiased party in to even watch the debate. The only people that know it's there are people that were fans of one of the people that's doing the debate, planning it out, platforming it, whatever. Those are the only people that show up. 99% of them are biased from the second that they start to watch. Not a single Crowder fan right now thinks that Crowder was a coward. Not a single Ethan Klein fan thinks that what he did was cowardly, and so ultimately nobody cares at the end of the day. It just ends up a chaotic free-for-all, and it's a grift, because then the fact that a third party shows up mysteriously at the last moment, of course, that makes it more interesting. Oh, there's drama involved. And then all of the drama heads on YouTube, they'll be talking about it. So basically, Ethan Klein technically wins because he gets a lot of attention. But see, that's the whole fucking point. This is why you shouldn't bother debating leftists for general purposes. The only ones that really would debate in good faith, I've had this experience before, and not just with the breadliners. There was another leftist, I won't name names, who wanted to debate me, and we were going to set it up. I had agreed to it, and then I heard from a mutual third party that was on his Discord server that the whole goal was to get me deplatformed by trying to rope-a-dope me into saying something bannable. Yeah, no thanks. I don't play that game. See, the only way to win is not to play the game. Debate online at this point is vestigial. It no longer even makes sense. The structure of search, of algorithms recommended and everything on multiple platforms makes it impossible to get a large audience of people that are just there because they happen to like it. Blood sports is dead. But it was attracting a huge number of people. This is why YouTube canned blood sports by going after it so viciously. This is why all of these streaming sites decided to crack down on that form of debate. It wasn't because it was any more edgy than fucking Crossfire at times, other than some of the colorful word usage. No, it's because it was starting to take away from the lamestream media. Can you imagine the media empire that could have been built? It would be another Stern easily. So yeah, Crowder shows up and then gets blindsided, and people are coping and acting like that's somehow a bad thing. No, it's a form of disrespect to challenge someone to a debate. They show up, and then you have somebody else basically doing it for you. You're being a disrespectful asshat. You're being disingenuous and sleazy. Yeah, you should walk out. Should walk out instantaneously. But better yet, don't even bother platforming people in the first place by agreeing to bother debating them. Because you're not going to change any minds, not within political discourse. No unbiased independent party is so interested in politics that they're going to show up to watch supposedly a far-right commentator and comedian debate a leftoid a podcast host. They're not going to show up. There's no fucking point at all. That's about all. Peace out.